everyone, this is Archive12 here at Archive Studios and Archive12 Plays, and today we continue our adventures in the Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. I wanted to get this video out before we finished the Burrito Forest over on GPDE, mostly because I don't feel like releasing 3 JPDE videos back to back to back is a good idea. So this and one other video will pop up probably before the next JPDE episode, which hopefully will be completed by next week. There may not be another video before the third JPDE Burrito Forest episode. We'll see. Depends on how much time I've got. Anyway, getting back to Cold Steel. Let's see what happened. In the last episode, we went through our first practical exam, which basically was Gaius, Elliot, and Reen taking on a combat shell. And basically a combat shell is just like a floating, I don't know, probe droid type thing that is highly customizable and designed specifically to create various combat situations and scenarios for the students to overcome. And Reen, Elliot, and Gaius did extremely well because they had practice in the old schoolhouse. Everybody else seemed to have a bit of a tough time. After that, we got the announcement that we were going to have our first field exercise. And these field studies are basically us splitting into 2 different groups and going to 2 different locations in the Erebonian Empire to study how life works over there. People, as well as Reen, all probably picked up on the fact that the field studies are very, very similar to what Sarah had Reen do for Toa in the student council. Basically, you go around, you explore the town, you solve problems and do requests for the people, and you can do as many or as few as you want so long as you get the required ones done. The rest of the team, which are appearing on the screen right now, Laura and Elisa, they weren't really sure if this was, a good idea or exactly what Sarah was going to, what she was getting at by doing this. Especially since she said she was going to be completely hands-off. This was all in the students' hands, and she immediately got drunk. But once Reen explained what they were doing, everybody seemed on board with it. Kind of curious about what Group B is going to be doing over in the town of Parm, though, since Machias and Eustace still hate each other. But at least Elisa and Reen have made up. They're not at each other's throats anymore. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get started with this field study. As before, I'm only going to be showing the events that I feel are probably the most important. I will be cutting out a lot of the combat. I'm not cutting out the monster combat for the required quest for a couple reasons. One, because I think it's a little Easter egg, even though this came out much earlier than the movie Shin Godzilla. I feel like the monster you're going to see is going to be very familiar. Besides that, most of the stuff in this episode is going to be centered around the story, which is the draw of Cold Steel and all of the Trail games. So hopefully you guys enjoy what's going on, because there's a lot that's going to go on. This is probably going to be like a 2 or 3 episode event here in Celdic. Wow. Look at all the people here. Yeah, it really is bustling. I guess there's a reason that people come from all over to visit. Look over there. There's even someone performing. I could see myself spending hours here. I see no harm in taking the opportunity to shop, as long as it's done in the process of completing the field study tasks. Yeah, it would be a waste not to see what this town has to offer. We'll just have to make sure not to get too carried away. Alright, I forgot. Gaius isn't with us on this one, is he? Gaius is with Group B. He's probably the only thing that's keeping Group B from exploding.
Wow, check out all these stalls!
Oh, hello there. The wind did blow across my face. It soothes my sorrow with its warm embrace. I don't think these lyrics go with the song you're playing. I don't think I've ever heard a song like this before. I like it, though. It sounds almost like an improvised ballad. Oh, hello there. Are you interested in my music, perhaps? Sorry about that. I didn't mean to bother you. Worry not. You seem to be someone who is smiled upon by music, much like myself. We create beautiful melodies simply by walking. Our singing causes tears of joy, and we summon birds through mere whistles. I assume these experiences are common for you. I think that's a bit of a stretch. He's an odd one, to say the least. I guess he's a traveling performer? The main reason I decided to talk to Andre there was because of the fact that he appears in several side quests, especially in Cold Steel 2, and introducing him to you guys now rather than later might make it seem like these guys actually know who Andre is, because they talk to him in Cold Steel 2 like they've already discussed things. So very minor character, but he's an interesting one to say the least. So I already got the request from the father over in the cathedral, the chapel, wherever that is, the church. So I'll get this mandatory quest here, and then all we'll have to do is just complete the side quest, which I'm not going to show because it's basically just me talking to a couple of people. Kill the monster, and then do this this one here, which this one isn't too exciting, but it does pop up several times, especially in Cold Steel 2. So understanding the basics now will allow me to skip them later. Welcome. This is the shop's Orbital Factory. Oh, you wouldn't happen to be the students from Thor's, would you? That's correct. We're here in regards to your request. It involved replacing the orbment light on the road lamp on the highway, right? Can we ask for details? Sure. Let's get right to it. As you read, one of the road lamps on the western highway stopped working the other day. And the cause of that is the orbment light inside breaking. So basically, I want you to go switch the broken orbment light for the new one. Speaking of which, here you go. So all that's required for us is to replace the broken one with this, right? Yep, that's about the size of it. So where exactly on the western highway? Once you're on the highway, keep heading north until you can see a place called Lunaria Nature Park. There's a windmill in front of it that you can't miss. The lamp's near there. Make sure you check the maintenance panel to make sure that you have the right one. It'll have B02 written on it. Near the windmill in front of the nature park. Understood. Is it safe to leave such work in our hands, though? I believe none of us have any experience related to this. Don't worry, pretty much anyone can do it. All you'll be doing is taking the light out and putting the new one in. Simple. I guess the most difficult thing about it is remembering the code to unlock it, but you can just write that down. There's a code? Yeah, you need to input it so you can open the maintenance panel. Let's see here. The code for B02 is 466515. 466515. Got it. Oh yeah, almost forgot to mention. The light from the road lamps actually repels monsters. So in other words, in places where there's no light, they're much more likely to appear. So keep an eye out when you're replacing it. The last thing you want is to be caught off guard by monsters. I see. Thanks for the warning. That's pretty much it then. Would you mind heading out and doing it now? Leave it to us. Let's go then. It should be noted that it's very interesting the way they have the setting for Cold Steel, because it's very clearly set in a time that is supposed to mimic like medieval time period. You know, like there's a little bit of like the Renaissance era. There's a little bit of what you'd expect in like, you know, medieval style Europe. There's a little bit of the Victorian era, but there's also that just makes up like half of the setting. The other half happens to be like modern day technology. Thanks to the invention of ordnance, all of this stuff here is just like brand new to a lot of people, which is the reason why they're concerned about not being skilled enough to actually change a light bulb. It's literally just a light bulb, like what we would do. It's just a mundane task for us, but for them, the Orbital Revolution came about like less than 50 years ago, and a lot of people still aren't up to the times with it yet. So when you start hearing things like, oh, you know, vacuum cleaners are a new thing, or washing machines are a new thing, but you see things like tanks rolling around, and you're trying to figure out how that really works, that's really why. It's because, you know, the revolution's still relatively new, and while the military is up to speed, most of the people around here are still living in like the Middle Ages or in the Renaissance. Oh god, this guy. I'm gonna apologize right now. The way I'm gonna talk as this guy is literally, whenever you hear his voice actor, this is how he reads his lines. It is completely ridiculous. I find it utterly hilarious, and it might be a little absurd sounding, so forgive me. Who might you be? I don't recall seeing any of you around here before. Do you have some form of identification? Soldiers? Wait, I think I recognize those uniforms. We're students from Thor's Military Academy. We're currently visiting Celdic as part of our field study. Thor's? You mean the Thor's? Now that you mention it, I do recognize that emblem. My apologies for any rudeness. We're members of the Terrorizing Provincial Army. Our main duty is to keep the peace here in Celdic. The Provincial Army? Isn't that... They're the military force operating by the ruling lord in each province, charged with maintaining security. They function as a secondary unit, separate from the formal Imperial Army. I've never heard of any field study program from Thor's. Seems a little early in the year for something like that, too. But many graduates of your academy currently serve in our ranks. So you be sure to uphold the academy's good name. Don't do anything you shouldn't. Thank you very much. We'll be sure not to let you down. I'm glad to hear it. Take care now. And remember to keep your noses clean. We will. That concludes our patrol. Back to the guardhouse, men. Yes, sir. Man, he was scary. If they're Cloydson Provincial Army, doesn't that mean they're ruled by... Yeah, Eustace's family, the Alvarez. Celdic is the northern part of their territory, after all. I think it would be best for us to keep out of their way. We should return to the task at hand. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how entertaining it is to actually do that voice for the first time. I've actually kind of been waiting for it. Just because it's so ludicrous. It's supposed to be near the windmill in front of the nature park, right? This light doesn't appear to be working. Which means it's probably the one that Samus was referring to. Probably. Let's check the number on it. B02. Yep, this is the one. Alright. Then we must enter the code after taking care of our uninvited guests. What? Monsters. There sure are a lot of them. Guess those lights really work. We need to change that thing quick. Green, can we entrust the task itself to you? Sure thing. The rest of you, keep those monsters at bay while I make the switch. You can count on us! 466515. That should do it. It opened. Now, get the new orbment light in place. Thank you so much for your help. Looks like things have finally calmed down. Thankfully. Hard to believe how much of a difference those things make. Got that done in record time, Rain. Yes, I was expecting the process to take much longer. Well, it pretty much was a simple procedure. Since I wasn't being harangued by monsters the whole time anyway. Still, good job. And I guess that's a wrap. Yeah, now we just need to report to Samus. Hey there. I take it the job's done? It is. Allow us to give you a detailed report on it, too. We had the old orbment light here, too. Thanks. I'll get this fixed up so it can be used again. Glad you're all safe after dealing with those monsters, though. They were hardly a threat. We did take the request knowing that it would be dangerous after all. You military academy kids really are a tough group. Oh yeah! I can't forget to give you a reward, can I? Are you sure we can take one of your quartz? Of course. You did some solid work, you know. Thanks for all the help. Feel free to come along whenever you need me to give your orbment a checkup. This must be the farm that put in the monster extermination request. Should we go inside and ask for more details? Yeah, we might as well. Doesn't be better than just wandering around blindly until we find the thing. Agreed. We're here, so now's as good a time as any to introduce ourselves and ingratiate ourselves to the locals, I guess? Hello. Would you happen to be Cyro? We're here to take care of the monster that's causing issues here. As such, we'd like to ask some details on it. Oh, you are? I'm the man you're looking for, then. Well, I did know it would be students that would take care of it. I wasn't aware that you had young ladies in your company. The rest of you are younger than I had expected, too. Perhaps this request may be too dangerous for you after all. Thank you for your concern. However, there's no need to worry. All of us here have combat experience already. Indeed. This all serves as part of our training, too, so please, allow us to undertake this request. Well, if you insist. You'll come across a plateau of sorts as you proceed beyond here. That's where the monster tends to appear. It's truly a ferocious one, too. So much so that passing by the area is impossible as it attacks everything it sees. Do take extra care when approaching it. Right. Being careless with this one doesn't seem like an option. We'll have to be thoroughly prepared for it. Allow us to make our way there once our preparations are complete, then. Yeah. We'll give it everything we've got.
Transcontinental Railroad, huh? Guess that'll take you out of the country.
Yeah, if you keep on heading east, you'd eventually reach Gorelia Fortress.
That's a long ways away. Nowhere near where we need to go. This boss fight may not seem like a boss fight in just a moment, but that's because of the fact that I kind of have Laura stupidly strong right now. She could potentially one-shot this monster. And if she doesn't, she's gonna chunk a hell of a lot of health out of it. By the way, I think, what's it, Toei? Is it Toei or Toho? I think it's Toho. I think Toho wants their Godzilla, design back. Is this the monster we're looking for? It certainly seems to be. It looks pretty tough. What should we do? We don't really have any choice, do we? We have to kill it. It's causing problems for the farmers. Everyone, double check your equipment. We need to be prepared for whatever this thing might throw at us. Understood. Right.
Be careful, this one looks strong.
Here we go! All right, let's do this!
Yeah, leave it to me!
Right. Good night.
Right! Shatter! Now!
Well, the plus side, she didn't one-shot
I
it.
can do this.
She did chunk about a third of its health out, though.
Turn to flames! Burn!
My turn! There!
My turn. Give it up, everyone.
Of course.
Huh?
All right, I forgot.
It's my
Lean's over
turn.
there. I was wondering why you turned around.
My turn!
My turn.
Huh?
I can do this. Turn to flames!
I don't know what you're about to do, but you're not getting that off.
Go!
Right.
Nice
Is
shot,
everybody
Elliot.
okay? I did it!
Ah, now you get the sector. I kind of wanted that earlier. That takes care of that. I don't know how we did it, but we won. It would have been even tougher if we didn't have the power of our combat links. I hate to admit it, but the Arcus does seem to have a lot of potential. You hate to admit it? Why? Never mind that. We should go tell the people at the farm that we took care of the monster they reported. Oh yeah. I hope they're pleased. Is something wrong, Laura? No, it's nothing. Let's go. Okay. Oh-ho! I assume you've taken care of that monster. That's correct. Thank goodness. Thank you so much. Now we can finally begin harvesting again. I'll have to let the family know right away. You're welcome. I found myself surprised at how close this area is to Celdic, however. Wouldn't it have been much quicker to make the request to the provincial army instead? Well, it is admittedly close, but this area, and Celdic as a whole really, is on the very outskirts of the Kreutzen province. As such, the provincial army isn't very interested in aiding us. Yeah, it's not too hard to believe considering their attitude earlier. That certainly doesn't sit well with me. I probably shouldn't say any more on the matter. However, I do still owe you all a reward for this. Please, take these. That's really generous. Can we really have this much? Why, of course! We've got enough to last us here as it is. After all your help, it's the least we could do. I hope you enjoy them. These look great, thank you! You don't get much fresher than this. I'm looking forward to digging in. I'm rather envious that you have the opportunity to eat such delicious food every day. It's one of the benefits of being a farmer. Unfortunately, though, it's not all good. Things have been getting tougher lately, seeing as how goods are now being imported so cheaply nowadays. Huh, I wasn't aware of that. Importing's become much easier now thanks to the Transcontinental Railroad and international flights. Furthermore, more and more goods can now be legally imported as a result of the rising population. Come to think of it, I have noticed an increase in cheaper ingredients lately. Oh, my apologies. I shouldn't be wasting your time with all this. Regardless, you have my thanks for today. Now we can move forward with harvesting without any worries. Allow us to thank you too. We actually learned a lot from doing this request. Feel free to get in touch with us should anything else come up. Don't give crap! The one fade! What's going on? It sounds like something's happening over in the market. There appears to be some manner of dispute occurring. I wonder what's up. Should we go take a look? Yeah, let's go see. Don't give me that crap! This is my spot! I paid for it, so it's mine! I'm the one who paid for this spot! Look, I've even got the permit too! So stop lying to me and vamoose! May I ask what the problem is? Perhaps we might be able to help in some way. There seems to be some question over which of these two gentlemen gets control of this area to set up their stall. The young merchant over there is a local, while the merchant wearing the suit is from the capital. But they're both claiming the same spot? How odd. Permits from the market are issued by the province's ruling lord. Oh, so for Celdic, that would be... Ah! This isn't good. We must stop them. Who are you? Unhand me at once! I'm not sure what's going on here, but violence isn't going to solve anything. You both need to calm yourselves. You've been worked into a rage. Bah! What are you, high schoolers? This has nothing to do with you meddling kids. We're having a mature discussion here, and I'll thank you to not interfere. Since when has grabbing a person by the neck been considered mature? If you truly intend to have a mature discussion, perhaps you should try acting more like adults. What did you say to me? We're students from Thor's Military Academy. We're currently visiting this town on a field study. And while we might not yet be formal members of the army, I'm afraid we cannot simply walk by and ignore a fight in such a public place. A military academy? Ugh, but they're a bunch of soldiers in training. What an alias name is going on here? Oh, now look what you've done. Manager Otto. I've been filled in on what's happened. I understand you both have a permit for the same stall. Is that correct? Yeah! And both permits expire at the same time, too. What's the meaning of this? I understand your concerns, but fighting over it is greatly inconveniencing the other customers. I'll be happy to discuss this matter in private, but I'll need to ask you both to put your differences aside until it's been resolved. Okay. I guess. Well, that was a close one. Seems like everything's going to be fine now, though. Yeah, I guess this guy's in charge. I really appreciate the four of you stepping in to help defuse the situation. Though, I suppose I should expect no less from the infamous Class 7 I've heard so much about. Oh? How do you know about Class 7? My name is Otto. I'm the manager of Celtic's Grand Market. I have some things to discuss with you if you'd be so kind to come along. I'll treat you to some tea. This is actually going along a lot longer than I expected to. Well, it seems one guy's happy. And unfortunately the other one isn't. I thought this episode was actually going to be very quick, but apparently it's not. So you're responsible for choosing our assignments? Indeed. Principal Van Dyke is an old friend of mine, you see. He asked me to personally select a few tasks that you might be able to complete. Well, that was nice of him. We appreciate your consideration as well. Oh, it's of no trouble at all. Likewise, I'm grateful for you to take some troublesome tasks off my hands. And I can't thank you enough for your help in the market. If you hadn't have been there, I imagine someone would have wound up getting hurt. I'm glad we were able to do what we did. So both merchants will be taking turns using the same stall in front of the market? That's right. Both of their permits are genuine, but their merchandise and temperaments don't lend themselves to sharing a space. Eventually, they agreed to compromise where they would each use the front stall on alternate weeks. The other stall we reserved is near the back of the market, however, so whoever's relegated there will likely see lower sale numbers. That's better than nothing, I guess, but it's still really unfortunate. I must admit, I do find this whole matter rather perplexing. To my knowledge, the issue of market permits is the sole responsibility of each province's ruling lord. For a mistake such as this to have been made in the first place raises some rather unpleasant questions. That's true. It's a lord's duty to control the flow of goods. If he can't handle it, the local economy would really suffer. Quite right. Ordinarily, that responsibility would fall to the Duke's household. The Duke? The Kreitzen province is ruled by Duke Alberea, one of the four most powerful nobles in the entire country. But lately, the situation surrounding the Duke's household has been getting a bit complicated. Complicated? A few months ago, he increased the sales tax on our market rather significantly. And, with a larger percentage of their profits being taken from them, merchants have begun to get rather desperate. Fights like that one you saw earlier are becoming more and more common. I see. Sales tax is something which should not be raised without careful consideration. History has shown how damaging such actions can be. I've never heard of anything like that happening at the capital. Have you tried raising objections to the increase? Of course! We've even gone to Berea Hard numerous times to petition the Duke personally. but they seem to just drive me away at the gate without listening to a word I have to say. This has been going on for roughly 2 months now. If that's the case, the mix-up with the permits may be more than just an accident. Are you suggesting they might be getting careless when dealing with the market, or they're deliberately trying to cause problems? I don't think it's a good idea to jump to conclusions. But I will say that before all this began, the soldiers in the guardhouse absolutely would have intervened in a scuffle like that. Oh? Unlike the Imperial Army, the Provincial Army's main priority is maintaining the status quo throughout their territories. So mediating arguments which threaten that status quo should absolutely fall within their scope of their duties. Correct. It seems that unless we accept this tax increase, they intend to turn a blind eye to the market. The commanding officer at the guardhouse even made comments suggesting as such. That's not right at all! I'm sorry. I shouldn't be talking about matters like this to you. This is strictly an internal affair to be dealt with among us merchants. You have no reason to concern yourselves with it. You need to focus on your field study. And I'll have a new list of tasks for you tomorrow morning as well. You will? So you were asked to prepare some for each day of our visit then? That's right. I've got a few difficult ones in mind too, but I'm sure you're up for them. Or at least, I hope you are. Don't worry, we are. We'll do our very best to meet your expectations. Oh. That all sounds really unfair. Yeah, I agree. Provincial lords have a duty and a right to decide upon and collect taxes in the region they control. And as long as this remains the case, there's not really much the general populace can do to stand against them. I'm reluctant to comment on how others choose to rule their own territories, but harassing one's people like this seems clearly inappropriate. I've heard many rumors about the current head of House Alvarea. The current head is Eustace's dad, right? So, couldn't we ask Eustace for some help here? I doubt there's anything you could do. Among nobility, decisions are made at the head of the house are absolute. And since the Albareas represent one of the 4 great houses, that old tradition is absolutely guaranteed to be alive and well. The Emperor himself is probably the only one with more power than the heads of the 4 great houses. I guess that's a no then. I see you're all busy mulling things over. Excellent! Excellent! Instructor Sarah? What brings you here? I figured it was about time I get going. Group B is not getting anything done as expected, so I'm off to sort them out. What? You're going to see Group B now? The town of Parm is a considerable distance from here. Now, you let me worry about that. You 4 are perfectly capable of looking after yourselves anyway, right? Put your heads together and think, and I'm sure you'll see what you need to do. Ah. Adios be with you. I'll be looking forward to your report. I can't believe it. It's as though she knows exactly what's going on. Even though she spent the whole day drinking at the inn. Can she read minds or something? I'd suggest we return to our room and rest for the night in any case. We still have our reports to write, so an early dinner seems wise. Yeah, you're right. I'm so tired. Me too. I feel like I'm going to fall asleep at the dinner table without even making it to my bed.
was delicious. Those were some seriously fresh vegetables, too.
Yeah, nothing beats food made from local ingredients.
I quite enjoyed the rye bread myself.
I suppose this whole field study thing isn't so bad when you take the menu into account. I wonder what the others in Group B are doing right now.
Probably arguing.
Somehow, I doubt they're sitting around a table and talking like we are.
That would certainly be a shock if they were. I can't help but question what exactly Class 7's purpose is, though. Instructor Sarah says it's about Arcus, but I don't think that's the only reason we've been brought together.
I'm certain it's not. If that were all, today's field study tasks would serve little purpose.
It seems as though she's trying to make us experience, I don't know, things. Like all kinds of things, big and small. What I can't wrap my head around, though, is why.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to put everything in its place, why don't you just go with the flow for a change? It seems like you're desperately trying to find something. But if you don't plant yourself somewhere, you're just gonna blow away with the next big gust that comes along.
What do we have to offer one another, when our reasons for enrolling in Thor's in the first place are undoubtedly very different?
Our reasons?
I hadn't considered that.
My reason for enrolling was quite simple. I aim to come ever closer to my goal. Or rather, to the person whom I regard as such.
Who's that?
This is neither the time nor the place to discuss such matters. Best to save that topic for another day. What about you, Elisa? Why did you enroll at the academy?
There's no one single reason, but I think I just wanted to assert my independence. I mean, my situation back at home isn't exactly ideal, and this seemed like a good way to get out and do more, I guess.
I see.
It sounds like I'm probably in the minority then. See, I wasn't intending on coming here at all originally. I wanted to do something completely different.
You did?
Oh yeah, you said you were really hoping you'd get into a music academy, right?
Oh?
Well, I wasn't that serious about it or anything. What about you, Reen? You're the last holdout, and since you're the one who brought it up, it's only fair you answer the question too.
Me? I wanted to find myself, I guess.
Find yourself?
Huh?
Sorry. That makes it sound like a much bigger deal than it actually is. That's the best way I can think of to put it, though.
Nothing wrong with that. Going on a journey of self-discovery? It's actually a pretty cool answer.
Yeah, I had no idea you were such a romanticist. You sure don't come across as one.
I shouldn't have said anything.
The weird sigh. They all have weird sighs at certain moments. You want me to wake you up at 6 tomorrow, right? Yes, please. We only have until tomorrow evening, so we'd like to get an early start. We'd really appreciate it. Not a problem at all. Have a good night. Good night.
But we're not actually going to sleep yet, are we? Not until we write our reports for the day.
Correct, Elliot.
I want to shut off my brain so badly right now, but it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon.
She seems to have forgotten all about the room situation, and I'm not about to remind her.
Reen?
What is it?
I was unsure whether to ask or not. but I've decided that this question bears answering. Why have you chosen to hold back?
What?
Your sword style and technique. It is the 8 Leaves, 1 Blade school, is it not? Popularized by the sword hermit, Yun Ka-Fai, it combines the best elements of other Eastern sword styles. Those who master any of its forms are referred to as a divine blade, and are said to understand the true nature of all things.
You certainly know an awful lot about it. I didn't think it was particularly renowned here in the Empire.
We of the Arcade School consider the studying of other swordsmanship styles to be an essential part of our training. In addition, my father once told me, if you follow the path of the sword, it is only a matter of time before you encounter a follower of the 8 Leaves.
Your father said that? It's an honor to be acknowledged by the Radiant Blade Master himself. I'm nothing special, though. I'm just a dropout who's never even been able to progress past beginner level. I did train under Master Ka-Fai for a while, but I started to feel like I couldn't go any further with my abilities, and he cut my training short.
What?
So I'm really not holding back. Honest. I actually kind of feel like I'm dirtying the good name of the 8 Leaf School, in fact. But this is my limit. I'm sorry I can't quite live up to your expectations. Laura?
You have no reason to apologize to me. This is a matter you must come to terms with on your own. Though I'll admit to some disappointment, I was hoping you'd prove to be a good sparring partner. I'm going to practice outside for a bit. Please go and finish your report with Elisa and Elliot.
I feel like you probably offended her.
There's a lot he doesn't want to talk about, huh? I can see in his eyes sometimes that he's bottling something up and trying really hard to keep anyone else from noticing.
You've noticed it too? You sure have taken quite an interest in him.
I was just trying to work out the best time to apologize, that's all. It's not like I've been consciously paying attention to him or anything, honestly.
Reen's not the only one bottling up his feelings, though, is he? You've been doing the same thing.
Yeah, I guess I have.
So we'll get our tasks for the day and then wrap things up. I'm pretty sure I won't be able to save before talking and getting the
You're
tasks.
moving up in the world. I've got a little reward here for you. Drinks are on me someday.
Frickin' Sarah. This has gone on a lot longer than I was expecting. That's okay. All these episodes are going to go on for probably about an hour. This is a long game. Here are your tasks for the day. The market manager left them with me. Thank you. So we gotta find a wallet. And we gotta to kill a monster. And they're all not required. So I can skip them if I want to. But I'm not, because I need those points. I need the rewards from those points. Huh, even fewer than yesterday. Maybe he gave us less work because we know we're going back to Tricida today. Sounds about right. A very considerate man. The last train headed your way leaves around 9 tonight. You get those done quickly enough, you can have dinner before you leave. Thank you very much. We greatly appreciate your kindness. Shall we get started then? Sounds good. Looks like today's tasks are all optional. Hey, Laura? I wanted to apologize for what I said to you yesterday evening. Rean, as I told you then, this is a matter for you to come to terms with on your own. It is not something for which an apology is required. That's not really what I mean. I wanted to apologize for making light of the way of the sword. What I said about being a dropout who's never progressed past beginner level was disrespectful. To Master Kafai, to the school I follow, and to the path of the sword itself. And for those reasons, I feel it was probably inappropriate for me to say what I said, so I'm sorry. If that's the case, there is one other person you should be apologizing to as well. Huh? I can't pretend to know much about your personal circumstances, but regardless of one's background or social standing, one should always be able to live with pride in himself or herself. Thus, if you truly did make light of yourself and your own abilities, then that is an act of shame for which you owe yourself recompense. Let me ask you a question, Rean. Do you like the path of the sword? It's not really a matter of liking it or disliking it, I don't think. It's a part of my life, an inseparable part of who I am. That's all that I wanted to hear. I feel exactly the same way. Laura. You two are friends again, right? We were not? There was never any rift between us that I knew about. Indeed. This was all handled rather neatly, I felt. You're both so simple-minded. I feel like an idiot spending so much time trying to devise a plan to get you two to make up. Whoa, you did what now? It seems we've caused you undue concern. Jeez, can't we just forget about it and move on? It looks like the ground's dried after the rainfall, so to speak. I'm glad to see you all looking a little less gloomy. Margaret, we got trouble! Big trouble! Slow down, Luis. It's first thing in the morning and you're poised to wake the dead with that much commotion. Where have you been anyway? You're late. I'm sorry, I got caught up on the way here. But never mind that. We have big trouble. Something terrible happened over at the market. Something terrible, you say? What terrible thing happened exactly? Well, it sounds like it actually took place last night. 2 of the stalls over in the market were destroyed and all their merchandise was stolen. That is most terrible indeed. A robbery? Oh my. I suppose that means the market might be opening late today. Which means we could end up with more customers as people wait here for resolution. Luis, let's get this place ready. You got it! As for you four, this is our problem, not yours. You should just focus on your field study and leave this incident to us locals. You have your own tasks to worry about after all. Of course. We'll be back later then. Thanks again. Okay. Apparently not. I keep thinking that we're stopping, and I keep remembering that this game has very bad points in which you have to stop. What should we do? I have to admit, I'm curious. It's not far, so we might as well go take a look. Alright. Let's take a slight detour and see what's happening at the market then. There we go. Okay. We will worry about what happened in the market next episode. Because, frankly, this has been going on for quite some time. So, thank you for joining me. This was Archava 12. I shall see you in the next video.